Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little story of commitment. I'm actually here in front of Niagara Falls, and so this actually kind of reminded me of the last time I was in just a beautiful place. So I had a speaking engagement in St. Martin. Well, we got up early that morning to get on the flight. It was in January, and of course, in typical Tulsa weather, we got on the tarmac and we started realizing that there was a problem. They had to de-ice the plane. So when we finally got to Atlanta, we were already behind. And so we rushed to the other side of the airport, and once we got there, we realized that the plane literally left 3 minutes before. We had to make a decision on what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna do it a very creative approach on doing this because I'm it, and I committed to them that I'm gonna speak. So no matter what happens, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there to do the job that they asked me to do. I committed to this organization that I'm gonna do the speaking, but then I also, what am I gonna do? I mean, my flights were canceled, and the problem is they only had one flight that would fly into St. Martin every single day. And so they said, well, you're gonna have to be there tomorrow. Well, that's gonna be a problem, being that I'm the keynote speaker first thing in the morning, the next morning. So I kind of gathered my people around me, which that's one of the first keys, that if you're gonna really be committed to making things happen, you have to have key players in your life. So we all kind of got together and said, it's important for us to make sure that I'm there. What it looks like is gonna happen right now is that I'm gonna have to fly to Miami. Then I'm gonna fly from Miami to St. Kitts. From there I have to find a car and probably a hotel or something. Okay, St. Kitts is a whole separate island. And I said, well, I'll figure out a way there. So get me to St. Kitts. So how am I gonna solve the next problem? So I actually Googled online charter airplanes. Well, I found one that said, hey, we can get you there. But what's gonna have to happen is you're gonna have to get on this plane early in the morning. So you're gonna have to drive to Saba. You're gonna have to drive to Saba. It's about a 40-minute drive over to that airport, and you'll get there at 8 o'clock, no problem. I was like, great, no problem. Let's book it. Okay, this might be solved, right? Yeah, by the time I landed, then we found out that no, that's not how it works. I look at my phone and my phone is just blowing up. My wife's like, call me the second you land. I was like, oh no, what now? And she goes, did you even look to see where Saba is? And I was like, no, they said I could drive there. She goes, yeah, if you have a boat. I got up to the desk at American Airlines, so now I'm switching airlines, and they said, yeah, your flights aren't gonna work. And I was like, what do you mean they're not gonna work? Well, they did it wrong. And of course, by then, I'm kind of hot and sweaty, I'm starving. I just bought a sandwich. I said, do you mind if I just stand here and eat my sandwich as you guys fix this? I know we can do it. And they did fix it. And then when I landed in St. Kitts, it was funny because my wife and I actually reserved me rooms at the same hotel on the other side of the island. Ready, we get into my room, we open it up, and there's luggage there. I was like, okay, I know this luggage isn't mine because we can't find my luggage. Little did I know that at that point in time, I believe my luggage was somewhere in Mexico at that time. We kind of looked it up and just started laughing, going, of course, it's having a better trip than we are. So we just left it there. This room had other luggage in it, so we kind of backed out, and they said, well, we're gonna put you in this room over here. So I went to that other room, and I walked in the room, and only a picture can show it best, but I walked in the room, and there's flower petals all over the ground. There's a heart-shaped flower made out of rose petals and a big 20 balloon showing 20th anniversary. And of course, like, no, this is not my room. Finally get to my room, we get all set up. I don't have my other clothes. I was just kind of getting ready. My wife calls me and says, okay, I think we found a flight for you. So at this point, she said, you need to be at your airport at 7:30 in the morning, figure out how to do that, and you're gonna meet the pilot. So I went to bed that night, and the next morning, got an Uber, got a taxi first thing in the morning, drove over there, and I had to literally wait in the concession area until a pilot approached me, which is just kind of weird in general, kind of like this, mastermind spy thing. So he walks up and says, are you Arthur? I was like, yes. And so I meet this French pilot, and he's really nice, and his co-pilot is an Austrian. And he says, all right, well, we're gonna get you through here. So we go out to the plane, and this is this little prop job. I mean, this is like a fishing airplane. And I get in the plane, and I look down at the bottom, and I had to push with my feet all these yellow bags away. And I look down, and those yellow bags are actually inflatable devices in case we crash. Believe it or not, I speak at 9 a.m., and so it's a 30-minute flight, and we will be heading out. Well, obviously, we're leaving right now. So I should arrive right in time to speak. So this is one for the books. We got there. I had to help him push the airplane into place. I should have taken a picture of that, but and strap it down. And he said, "Hey, we're going to get in this car." And so we jumped in the pilot's car. He goes, "Luckily, it's a Sunday morning, so it's not as busy. I can get you there." And man, when this guy was driving, I mean, he buckled us in this small little car, and he's like flying down the road. I mean, you could hear the motor. And he's just passing people all. We get up there and we pull in. And the problem is there's no signage on the building, so we're not exactly positive that it's the right place. So the airplane pilot says to me, he says, "Well, why don't I take you in there, and if you're in the wrong place, we'll take you to the right place." At this point, I had 3 minutes to spare. So we go in there, we finally found some people in there. It's actually a casino that wasn't not open yet. And we found a group of people, and we said, "Harry, are you guys with the dry cleaning group?" And they said, "Yes, as a matter of fact, we are." And they said, "Are you our speaker?" I was like, "Yes." And they're like, "Welcome." And so I turned to the guy and said, "Hey guys, thank you so much," shook their hand. And as they were leaving, one of the guys says, "So was that your taxi driver?" I was like, "Well, I guess so. It was actually the airplane pilot." And he looked at me with a really weird look that later I understood. The question was, why is the airplane pilot driving me to this place? So I made it in there with 1 minute to spare. They put a mic on me and they gave me a bottle of water. And I went up there and I talked to everybody about customer service. Then I had everybody go on break. And then after the break, I decided to tell everybody about my trip. And I shared with them about commitment. And when you're committing to something, that's your name on the line. And when you get into the point where you, on an ongoing basis, you honor your commitments, you're gonna see how many things drop in your lap because they know that you'll get it done. Too often we make a commitment and we're only half into it. We're just about, hey, I'm gonna commit to this if it's convenient, or if the weather's nice, or if this happens, or if that happens. It's kind of like the fair weather fisherman that only goes out and fishes in the perfect weather. The problem is, it's not always the perfect weather. It wasn't the perfect weather for me, but I made a commitment to these people. And like I told the young lady on the phone when I met with her, is that I will commit to you that I will do everything in my power to be there. And you know what happened? And I think this happens a lot is, when we make those kind of commitments and we literally do everything in our power to be there, we generally end up being there.